Liz Cheney was one of the 10 courageous House representatives that voted to impeach the Orange Menace. She was praised by Democrats as well as most, if not all, people of sound mind. But unfortunately, Republican politics these days are infected with a rather nasty case of political COVID, namely the ultra-malignant Trump virus. And unlike the case with actual COVID, it is uncertain if vaccines will ever be developed for this type of disease. A question yet to be answered is, will the GOP go back to their pre-Trump principles, or is the infection so deep and so entrenched that instead of Republicans they will henceforth choose to be Trumpists? Liz effectively chose to tell Trump to go to hell and voted to impeach him, and now she finds herself under attack by those in her caucus that feel it as a great betrayal. She currently holds the number 2 level position of power in the House, right behind Speaker McCarthy. The question is, will those that now oppose her succeed in getting her demoted, and even more significantly, will she be able to keep her seat in the upcoming midterms? As a result of her impeachment of Trump, a very Trumpy challenger has already emerged to run against her in 2022. It's pretty easy to see how she would get herself into a difficult and controversial position through the transiting Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus cycles. As 2021 began, her early degrees Sun and Mercury in Leo are being opposed by Jupiter and Saturn, while Uranus is in a station squaring those two planets. And the good news for her is that all three move forward out of these degrees, and as we go toward February, March, etc., they do not come back. So on that account, things are sure to improve. Then we have to look at the moon position, and without an accurate time, we know it is somewhere between 16 3/4 degrees Sagittarius and 29.5 Sagittarius. The earlier her birth time is, the better, since it would mean the moon has already gone through the transiting Neptune square. If later, then she is either in the thick of it right now, or might be coming up to it soon. If it does turn out to be later, then late as possible is best, so that the Neptune square wouldn't find her in the 2020 to 2022 cycle, which would put her midterm election chances in peril. Neptune challenging aspects almost always doom your political chances through the declining or even cratering of popularity. Of course, it's true that an accurate time could still produce rising and culminating degrees to sink her ship at various times, but absent that, the moon position is what she most has to worry about, and even there she might be able to dodge the bullet since natal Neptune in her chart isn't very disharmonious, squaring her sun sign by sign, but not by degree, and making a nice trine to Jupiter and sextiles to Uranus and Pluto. It feels strange to be cheering for a Cheney since our memories of her father aren't very pleasant. He was the Darth Vader of the G.W. Bush administration and often made Bush look benign. And yet, at the hour of crises, Father Cheney and daughter Cheney both stood up for the Republic. So for that I thank them both, and for the good of the country I hope she remains influential in the GOP. Better her than QAnon, that's for sure.